Divine Risings, family. Divine Risings to you all, wherever you may be, wherever this message finds you. I hope that you are doing well, doing the very best that you can. And I hope that you are encouraged and motivated to continue your journey, to see it to its beautiful end. Well, as you can see, family, I'm out here in my beautiful environment, out here in Mother Nature. You know, I'm hanging out in the backyard here. Got my feet, you know what I'm saying, solely planted in the soil, which you'll see once I sit down. But I got a beautiful message for you, the family. Um, with being outside, you must understand that you have to deal with the noises and the elements. So you might hear the dogs in the background and the birds chirping and other beautiful sounds going on. But that's a beautiful thing, family, very beautiful. So, I this message that I have for you today, family, it was kind of it was an inspired one by some of my neighbors. Yeah, by some of the neighbors. So, you know, Spirit kept telling me, all right, well, T, feed it to him. So what I call this message here, family, is resolution communication, or resolution communicating, whichever you prefer. But you know, that's what I'm gonna title it. I'm gonna set this down right here, and then I'm gonna take a seat right here in beautiful nature. You see, you probably can't see me. You know, can't see my feet planted in this here beautiful soil. So look, let me show you. Yes, sir. See, I'm barefooted. I got my babies out here in the soil. So here's what I'm gonna give to you today, family. I want to move it because I don't, want this beautiful sun to distract a whole lot. So, so here's the message that I come to you with, family, about resolution, communicating. Because okay, I have two neighbors, right? Two neighbors, and here's how the events transpire. So I have one neighbor who asked me to perform a service for him using my mechanical skills, which I did so, and I don't know. I only assume that his financial situation shows that he's unable to keep his word, you know, to pay me the services that I rendered for him, and so therefore, what he's doing is just simply dodging me, just running around dodging when he sees me. He tries to hurry up and run in the house, and all that. That's the one example that inspired this, and the other one is I have a neighbor, just moved into the neighborhood, and you know, I did I helped him out one day, and so by him seeing that I'm an individual, a cool individual, he begins to to talk with me, and that's good. You see, yeah, that's good, because we need to, just get to know each other to help each other out. But what I've noticed with him in communicating with me is that he's having issues within the home, that he's renting, and rather than him go to the landlord, he simply vents to me about the issues that he's having, and I can tell, you know, that he hasn't went to the landlord, which I'm gonna share that with you, because I have a lot of experience in this. I listen to people. I'm the type of individual, I guess, as they say, I'm easy to talk to. So people, become comfortable, and then they sit down and they talk with me, and I listen. I listen very, very well. That's very key, very important to listen. So I come to discover with him that okay, he has issues with communicating as well. Now, a family, I don't know, it could be many reasons how this comes about, where we lack the communication to resolve matters, without the worst coming about. Because as I reflect back upon my own upbringing, the only thing that I've noticed that we've always been told is that, if somebody puts their hands on you, hey, you better make them know that that's a mistake. You must defend yourself, no matter what. Period. Don't let nobody put their hands on you. So we are taught to fight and defend ourselves, family, but to the best of my knowledge, I was never taught how to communicate and how to resolve matters without it getting, further to the left. So that's how it is. I mean, and coming up the way I was coming up, hey, you had to learn how to use these hands. So I must say, I never had an issue using these passionate hands of mine. But when you look at the situation, so now I take it in as a whole and say, okay, so what's the deal with this communication, this resolution? Um, when you look at many households, if they were like mine, then you just simply wasn't taught how to resolve matters. Now, me, myself, I can truly say that I'm a very rare breed, like other rare breeds out there, because between me and my two siblings, I was always the one that always sought to talk things out before, going off the deep end. My brother and sister, they weren't like that. My sister would talk a little bit, not much. My brother had zero talking, period. It's just hands, and that's all it is. So, in me looking at that whole situation and saying that, okay, well, I wasn't taught that at home. And I know many others wasn't taught that at home because as I'm watching, as we coming up, a lot of my friends, they weren't taught that neither. So as life goes on, and I started noticing and being observant, the way that I am coming into my own person, my own being, and I started noticing that, hey, communication, we not really taught that a lot. We just simply not. And then I guess, that there are those who would like to, talk and resolve matters. There are some out there like that. But in coming up as well, I noticed that if you were one of those individuals, like I said I was, then individuals thought you were scared. You know what I'm saying? You trying to talk your way out of it. And no, it's not that. I was trying to talk my way out of it. It's just, I mean, I knew my ability and my potential, and I didn't want to go to that extreme because then it really gets ugly. Excuse me, it really gets ugly when I have to go that way, and I'm sure that is the same for many of you. You try to avoid that by all costs. So what happens then as you grow older, with always hearing that from the friends and those in your environment coming up, then what happens is, you become one of them individuals where you just simply kind of stay to yourself. Yeah, you try to avoid people because, that's the only way to avoid confrontation. And that's good. That's beautiful. A lot of you were able to do that. In my environment, not so much so. For the most part, I was, but then there were those times where you just had individuals that they simply just wasn't gonna take no. They wanted to see where you were at. So hey, I had to show them. But as I become adult, and then I look around and I see, right, and I observe, and I'm listening. I'm always listening, always, because you have to hear everything. If you learn to really listen, family, before opening your mouth to say anything, the person who is talking to you, the person whom approached you, those they will talk, and they will tell you, right? And speaking the problem, they will tell you how it came about, right? No, everybody wants to tell their side of the story, but if you just keep listening, just encourage them to talk, to get it off their chest, and just keep listening, then you'll come to find out who's at fault. Sometimes it's the person that's talking to you that's at fault. But then you'll also hear how the situation came about. And then when you go to speak, you can give them some advice on resolution. So what I've come to find out though with my two neighbors that, like I said, that inspired me to make this video, to deliver this message, is that, okay, like I've spoken on the first individual, and hell, he's a grown man, very grown man. We actually used to sit outside and have conversations, just out here in the street, just about anything. We'd sit and talk. Again, he'd come up to me and then we just start chatting. Well, all of a sudden now that he doesn't have what he owes me, he don't seem to know how to come to me as an adult and simply, say, well, T, look, I don't have it right now and this is my situation, so can you give me more time? All right. that'll be fine. See, here's the thing that gets me, family. Okay, before he asked for my services, right? Before he needed my services, there was no problem with us being able to just talk and communicate. None whatsoever. Well, how now all of a sudden that I've rendered services to you, now you don't know how to come to me and talk? See, that's money has never been an issue with me, family. Never. I'm all about character of the person, of the individual. Who are you? You can open your mouth and say whatever, but your actions reveal your character. So I'm watching and observing that. Okay. So I guess to him, he feels as though if he can't keep his word and repay when he said, he was going to repay, I guess the only resolution that he know of is to simply duck you. You see, you just keep avoiding you. You just keep hiding. It's hard to do that when we next door neighbors. I laugh at it myself because it takes way more energy for you to duck someone than simply for you to go to them and talk to them, let them know the situation, and then okay, we come to resolution. Because at the end of the day, I can't make you have what you don't have. But our relations, you see, our communication relations as neighbors and all of that will remain beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Just peachy. If you simply learn to, come and talk. That's all. Just open your mouth to talk. You was able to do it before. So now let's switch to my other neighbor. So I noticed that with him, like I say, he's gotten comfortable with me where he talks, and that's good. That's good. I want him to talk because a lot of times you might be the only person, you literally might be the only person that an individual has that they can talk to. So that's good. I encourage that. I listen. But here's what I pick up on with my other neighbor. I noticed that with everyone that he talks about that he's having issues with, right? It's always something to do with them and then nothing to do with him. Now remember when I told you earlier, if you just simply listen, you can all the answers will come to you. So you have to listen. So what I found out is that when dealing with individuals like him that always come to vent, okay, 9 times out of 10, it's not the person that they're talking about that has the issue that they're bringing to you. It's not them. What it is the individual who's bringing it to you. The individual who's bringing it to you simply don't know how to go and communicate and talk to them about whatever issues that they have with them. So because they don't know how to go and talk to them and seeing it simply from their point of view, they come to you venting. You see? Pay attention, family. Stay with me. They come to you constantly venting to you about the other individuals and what the other individuals are doing to them, or how the other individuals are really just aggravating them. But then if you sit and listen, then what I wait on to hear is, okay, after you told me about this other person who's aggravating you, and then you told me the situation involving you and the person, now what I'm waiting to hear is, what did you actually go and say to them? Nothing. They actually didn't go say nothing. So once I hear that, okay, you haven't said nothing in what you're talking about, I ask one simple question, and this all you have to do, family. That's all you have to do. You ask one simple question. Once they sit there and they vent to you, you simply say to them, okay, so did you go to the person and tell them, you know, what it is that's bothering you with them? Have you went and talked to them? They'll sit there and, it's going to be a long pause, and then it'll be a, well, and anytime they open their mouth and it starts off with well, or there's a long pause, no, they didn't say nothing to them. And then most of them will be honest with you. Again, if you're listening and you just want to help them to resolve the matter, then they'll actually open their mouth to tell you, no, man, I ain't say nothing. Again, from their point of view, they're looking at it like they can't talk to the individual. Another key sign that'll let you know that the person you're talking to don't have any communication skills, because they'll be quick to give you an excuse as to why they didn't go and talk to the other person. No, No, that's a zero, family. That's a zero. That means you have no communication skills whatsoever, period. How can you rationalize in your own head, right? How can you reason that you can't talk to the person when you actually didn't bother to go and try to talk to the person? Period. Oh no, no. That's zero, family. Zero. Come on now. We're grown. We're not kids. Even for you young adults that follow me and I follow you, you beautiful souls, listen, listen. Don't just make up in your head a reason or an excuse for why you have not went to the person and talked to them. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Simply go to them. Talk to them. That's all. And if you don't know how to go and talk to them, and if you run across somebody like me and others like me who are out there who are listening to you, okay, so then once you find out that we are passionate individuals, sincere individuals, genuine, whom you can talk to. Okay, so there's one or two options for this. Either you ask them, we have too much pride and we don't want to ask for help, and because we don't want to be seen as somebody who don't know how to do something. That's society. That's a whole nother story. But staying with the matter, you either ask them, how should they go and talk to the person, or if the individual simply offers you the advice when you are done talking, then listen, take that advice, and then go and talk to the individuals whom you have these issues with. Period. Because if you don't do that, then the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to constantly build up in your head from your own point of view that nobody understands you. Nobody understands you. Everybody is crazy. Everybody aggravates you. That's what you're going to get in your head. That's how you're going to live. And then what you'll find out is you're the only one who's going to grow old and bitter. Trust me, I know. You're the one who's going to grow bitter, or you're the one who's going to constantly turn to whatever your vice is, when you can't go and communicate with someone that you have to go and communicate with, we turn to them as vices. Those vices, some of us is cigarettes, others, it may be that alcohol. Whatever vice it is, when you feel like you're being stressed, you go and you run to that. When the simple solution is, the real simple solution, family, is, hell, go and talk to them. Just go and talk to them. Because listen, family, at the end of the day, here's what it boils down to. At the end of the day, if you don't go and talk to them, then the issue still remains. Period. The issue, listen, family, the issue is still there. If you don't go and speak with them, then you still have an issue. So you telling me then what you're gonna do is just keep smoking or keep drinking, right? Instead of going and talk to the person. Or now that you've run across someone whom you can talk to, whom you see as a reasonable individual who simply listens with an open mind, and then they give you good advice. I mean, at the end of the day, what I've learned in my walk is, if someone is giving me, good advice, what they say, good advice, trying to give me advice to help me, whatever my situation is. Okay, so if I'm listening to what they're giving me, and then it sounds like good advice as well to me, well, then I'm going to try it. Because at the end of the day, if they're giving you the advice to help you, right, then only one or two things can happen. Either the advice is going to help you in your situation exactly as the person said it would for the better, or it's not going to do nothing at all. But it's not going to make your situation worse. You see, that's the point. Even if it doesn't help your situation, it's not going to hurt you or make the situation worse. So why not take the advice anyway? You see, why not take them? I'm going to give an example for some of you out there with the last part that I just said, where you want to. So a long time ago, I knew an individual who had issues with child support, right? Okay, so the issues that the individual had, basically what he was trying to do was he was trying to duck his responsibilities. You know, he had 6 kids. I think it was 4 or 5 different baby mamas and all that. But you know, he's trying to duck his responsibilities. But the way he put it to me when he first started speaking is, you know, of course they always tell it from their point of view, like it's the, you know, the baby mama this and trying all that and all that. Okay, so in listening, right, listening, the one thing I never heard come from him is him accepting his responsibility. So I knew that, but I didn't come at him like that. What I simply said to him was this: knowing the child support system, because I was once a victim of that, where they was trying to railroad me, but I wasn't having it. You know, I went, you know, to the libraries and I sought out all the knowledge. You see, that's right. I sought out the knowledge on this and the knowledge on that. So I know that system inside out. I can give you advice. So what I simply did was I gave him some advice, right? And the advice that I gave him, I said, listen, if you do this just like this, then this is what should happen. Okay. So he went, took the advice, he tried it, he came back, he said, no. He said, no, OG, that didn't do nothing for me, man. That didn't work out like that. That didn't do nothing. I said, what? I said, it should have. But the one thing that he didn't say was it made his situation worse. It didn't make it worse. It didn't work the way he wanted it to work, but it didn't make the situation worse. And that's my whole point, you see? If someone's giving you good advice, sincerely giving you good advice, after listening to you, right? Try the advice. It's either gonna help or it's not, but it's not gonna make your situation worse. So just as the individual that I was talking about, spirit revealed to me that he got other issues. Like I said, he doesn't want to be responsible. He doesn't want to hold himself accountable for those seeds that he brought into the world. So hey, that's an issue he have to deal with. But that's the example that I give you to show you, well, listen, if you got good advice to give someone, right, if you're being sincere and genuine, give it to them. Either it's going to work out for them or it's not, but it's not going to make the situation worse. And the same as if somebody's giving it to you. If they're giving it to you, use it, try it. It's either going to help you the way you need it or it's not going to do anything, but it's not going to make your situation worse. So with my neighbor who loves to vent, I said to him, look, man, you need to go to your landlord because you haven't went to your landlord. I mean, he's talking about on the issues, you know, in the house with things that's not working and all in the house. Well, go to the landlord, call him. Because listen, family, if you don't learn to communicate with whoever it may be, then you got to look at it from their point of view. Because you're looking at it from yours, we'll look at it from their point of view. If you don't go to them, they don't see that there's a problem. To them, they don't believe that there's an issue because you haven't come to them. You see, that's it right there. Everybody's looking at it from their own point of view, and nobody's coming together to simply express themselves. And that's the problem. And this applies, family, to every aspect of life. It applies to us in our relationships, our intimate relationships, and our friendships, you know, even with family. You see, co-workers on it just applies to everyone. If you do not learn to open your mouth and simply express yourself in a calm manner to go to the individual, then the individuals don't know that there's an issue. Period. They don't. And yes, you can keep trying to duck and duck and duck, but listen, you can only run and duck for so long. You can only do it for so long, family. Whatever it is that you're running away from, that you're afraid to do, life is going to keep throwing that back in your face until you learn to confront it. Period. That's just plain and simple. And because I know that from my experience, I don't bother individuals like my neighbor who's ducking me. I don't. I just laugh because I see the energy that it takes for him to duck me rather than just to come to me. And like always, family, anytime somebody comes to me for help, because I do it genuinely from the heart, when they don't fulfill their word, they end up having way more hardships than the service that they asked me for. Trust and believe when I tell you, they end up having way more hardships. And I see the hardships that my neighbor is having now. But it is what it is. So this message that I bring to you all, family, um, hopefully it'll help somebody. It really will, hopefully. You know, you got to remember, we're taught how to fight and defend ourselves, right? But we're not taught how to peacefully communicate and come to resolution to resolve whatever it is that we're dealing with. We're not taught that. So in relationships, especially in your relationship, then what you find out is y'all are constantly arguing and hollering and cussing at each other until y'all have had enough. And then, you know, when the when both either or both of you in the relationship, this is just one way that I know that individuals find someone else, is that, you know, when they run across someone who will sit there and listen, genuinely listen. You got to understand, family, when we're dealing with so much out in the world, and trying to survive, being put in the survival mode. You see so much. You're always walking around with your hands balled up, and your mental is always in fight mode. That when you run across someone who you find out that you can unclench those fists, and you can just simply relax, and you can be yourself, and you can speak. That is soothing. It's calming. That's peace, family. That's peace. And at the end of the day, that's really what we all desire, is peace, because we all know what we're dealing with. You know, everyone is dealing with the same situation, different circumstances, but it's the same situation. Survival mode for just about all of us now. All of us now. All of us. But at the end of the day, family, that's simply what it is. All we looking for is peace. We're looking to be heard. A lot of people say respect, but what you're looking for is peace. That's really what you're looking for. Family, I hope this message right here helps somebody. You know, I really do hope it helped whoever ran across this beautiful message that I brought to you on this beautiful day, and I hope it does wonders for you as it has done for me over the years. I really do. I really do, because as I always say, which is true, it is not just my desire, but it is soul's desire. It's soul's desire that you walk the very best that you can walk on this journey. So it is soul's desire that you walk well, family. Walk well. And always know I'm with you. If nobody else is with you, always know that in spirit, I'm with you. Take care, family. Peace.